Good morning, everybody. This is your boy Shine, and we are here to dissect what is wrong with Chelsea. Right? We are trying to get into everything that we think might be affecting Chelsea's performance, might be a part of them not being up to the mark. So let's just dive deep into it. What is going on with Chelsea, right? What I see with Chelsea right now is there is a lot of inconsistency, right? Reece James did not start yesterday. Uh, the reason was illness. Fine. They still have world class defenders. They got Koulibaly back after the suspension. They have Spilicueta. They have Kukurea. I think he's one of the best signings uh, of the summer transfer window. But again, they are still letting in teams like Southampton and Leeds dominate them. I know this for a fact because I am a United fan. I'm an United fan, but when we so I can relate actually. Last season we were giving away these kind of goals. We were letting be yeah, mid-table teams, bottom table teams kind of dominate us, and that was happening for the longest. It still happened till the season's first two games. We were not up to the mark. We were completely garbage uh, last season and this season as well. Except for Ronaldo, we really didn't do much. None of the players did anything. Maybe De Gea did help us, keep a few goals outside, but that was it. That was pretty much it. No one was stepping up to the mark. No one was trying to do anything, and it was really painful for us. Watching these kind of uh, games week in and week out. I just hope top tier teams don't face this, because this happens. There are two things that it can prove. Like the teams in the Premier League are getting better by the day, which is true hands down. We all love to see it. No other league in the world will be this competitive. No other league will come this close, of top tier football. Never. It will not happen, at least in the near future. This is the toughest league. Teams like Leeds, who were deemed to have, what do you call it, a relegation battle. Like they were casted by everyone as a team that will fight for relegation, right? But that's not what's happening. Leeds are leeds are actually winning games. They won games. Like they won against Wolves. They won against Chelsea. They have a draw as well. I can see with Southampton. They did lose one to Brighton, but again, that brings me to my point. Brighton, another such team, mid-table team, bottom table team, lower half of the table, mostly in and out, right? No disrespect to anyone, but that is how it is. They are outperforming teams. They beat United. They have points on the board. They have more than one wins in the last four games. They lost to Fulham yesterday. Again, that brings me back to my point. Fulham, they are doing wonders as well. You don't know what's gonna happen the very next day. So this is one reason that I feel the league is competitive. So no one is safe wherever they are in the table. Because any team can beat any team, and it's not as well on their given day. They can beat them outright, skill wise, everywhere. The training facilities have improved, the coaches have improved, the coaching has improved. Uh, and it is visible. Everyone can see this. Everyone right now can sit in their couch, not relaxed, by the way, because their team is playing a bottom table team. You cannot afford to relax. You will sit there and hope your team either performs well or just edges by. And me as a United fan, I can feel this. I can feel this because we kept on losing games for the longest. We have lost a lot of silly games. We have gave away a lot of silly goals. It I can relate to everyone who's a Chelsea fan right now, that you know there are teams who are becoming better, but there has to be a bar that has to be set where the better teams who are, who are financially well off, like, Chelsea, right? They've spent a lot of money, more than 100 million pounds this summer, more than 150 million pounds. Uh, so a team like Chelsea, they have to get, even better than the ones who are, bottom table or mid table teams. They have to get, so the race has to be on. The race has to be on from, the very first minute and the very first second. Again, when I say this, everyone is getting better. The complacency of teams, the ego has to go away big time, because if we dwell on the past as United fans, we have tend to dwell on the past a lot, right? Because those are the moments that we always cherish. We are united because of our past, right? uh, because I don't think we have done anything substantial in the present. So we will dwell onto the past, and that is not just we, everyone will, right? Because a club becomes a club because of what they have achieved, has a standard because of what they have achieved. So someone's past cannot define the present, and United is a big example, at least till now, because what our past, what our heritage is till 2010, 11, right? 2011, right? Everything from there and then onwards has been downhill. So our past is before 2011 and 12. For Man City, their past is very recent. For Liverpool, it's been, same as us, but they have been performing. For Liverpool, what I feel is they are a side who were always consistent. They haven't fallen off track, maybe one season, maybe 1.5 seasons, maybe 2 seasons, right? But they were always there on the top four, right? They did not lose whatever they stood for. Chelsea are newcomers to this list. 2004, 2005 is when they started, picking up pace, buying in players, becoming a, a force where they will challenge for everything that's there to be challenged in club football. And they did that. They did that for the longest, and they're still doing it. But the complacency, the ego factor that they are, they're a big club and they can do whatever the fuck they want and still hope to win games. That's not happening anymore. That will not happen, because I feel there was a part of that era, that one era, till I think 2011-12, where we could dwell in the past and still get results. That would happen. But right now, I don't think that's going to happen anymore. We are Manchester United. We feel that we will just go in all guns blazing and win games. Fuck that shit, dude. That's not happening. We will go all guns blazing and we'll return with like 0 points. Even at Old Trafford, we are not safe against a team like Brighton. They are, no disrespect again, they are very organized, right? We can see that from the recent performances. They are 100% organized. But, again, the thing about dwelling in the past, we can't do that. Because if we have to compare, okay, on a given day, if we play Brighton, and this is 2009 and 10, right? Maybe 2008, 9, maybe 2007, 8, and we play Brighton. We're just sitting back on our sofa, smoking a cigar, sipping my coffee. And we expect Sir Alex Ferguson sitting in the stand chewing his gum. Good, 3-0, a regular 3-0, regular day at office. What's happening? Anyway, now you can't sip your coffee for the 90 minutes. You can't do that. And I think that's very wrong with top teams who are dwelling on the past, including United, and that is very wrong. That is what I feel. Even though Chelsea's past is very recent, they are still a formidable force. I'm not saying that mid-table and bottom-table teams cannot become that force. We have seen that intent from everyone. Everyone can fight for each and every spot that is available. Leicester City is another big example of the recent past, that what happens if you take them, if you take any team lightly, at least in the English Premier League. I'm solely talking about English Premier League right now, because it's so damn competitive, and dwelling on the past is not going to help. Chelsea have a great player in their ranks as Raheem Sterling, who's just bailing them out, trying to bail them out as much as they can. Of course, he needs to work on his finishing, 100%. No doubts there. But he's still trying for his team. They got red carded the last game, not yesterday, but the game before that. They still scraped through, because 2 goals from Sterling. So they have what it takes, but you know right now Premier League is a pit of fire. You can't just jump in and expect not to get burnt. You will get burnt every day, every week. You will have to fight for those 3 points. It's not going to be a cakewalk, my friends. It is not going to be a cakewalk, unless of course you will see a result like 9-0, where Liverpool just go out, take all the rage out on a team like Bournemouth, because they were defeated by United. Of course, we played well on that day. We took our chances and they didn't. We won the game fair and square. But then again, they will go ahead and take out their rage because they are a better team. They know how to bounce back. They're still keeping that, and that's one thing. Of course, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm completely opposite of being a Liverpool fan, right? But they know how to bounce back, and they have been consistent for the longest. Manager changes, captain changes, players changes, everything changed for them in the recent past a lot of times, right? It did happen to them. At least they changed 4 managers, right? Not like us, not like United, but they changed a lot of managers. Their golden generation of the 2005-6. They also, none of them are here right now, right? Everyone's there managing other teams or doing some other, commentary or something like that. But they had, for Liverpool, they've always maintained the fact that they will be on top there, and the complacency factor for Liverpool is a bit less. I think for United and players of United, it has gotten to a level. It did get to a level, before the Ten Hag era, that everything that we were doing was driven by ego. Everything that we were doing was driven by, I don't know, I don't know. It was silly football all over. It was silly football all over. We were too proud of ourselves for some reason, and that showed in our game. We were torn apart by each and every team that we faced, right? No team can, we can never say that no team has been able to dominate us, has not been able to dominate us. We cannot say that, because we've been dominated by West Brom, by Norwich, by Brighton, by all the bottom table teams. I can't remember a lot of other names, but there are teams like who have outright dominated us a certain part of the game, or they've beaten us convincingly, and that has happened for the longest. Tottenham has scored 6. Who would imagine, right? These things, that is how a good team becomes a better team becomes best. City right now are on a different level. Like, of course, they have to do their work defensively. They have to still improve. Haaland is a great signing. They have a very strong squad. The depth is insane. Everything about them is perfect. But still, they're drawing games with Newcastle. Newcastle are leading 3-1, and then they're trying to come back. Same against, I think they played Crystal Palace, right? They played Crystal Palace, where they were losing. Yeah, Crystal Palace was leading 2-0, I think, and then they came back from behind. Haaland hat-trick, of course, but as a team, it shows the mentality. It shows the United of 2007-8, where even if they lose 3-0, they have the mentality to come out and win. And the one big advantage that they have, that all of their achievements has been in the last 10 years. So they're not dwelling on the past. They're trying to build everything, and I hope all teams from the Premier League maintain this for the longest. So, and the complacency factor goes away, so that we as a league as well, because Premier League has to be the best league in the world. And for us as Premier League fans, of course, United fans, Premier League fans, where we can boast around to other fans who follow teams from other leagues, in no way, dude, no way possible that you're coming in, your team is playing a Premier League team, and they're having a cakewalk. You cannot have that. We will, even if Leeds United, again, no disrespect, Leeds United play Barcelona, they have to sweat till the very last minute, sweat it out, and then maybe they can get a chance to win. It will never be a cakewalk, and that is how tough the league is, and that is how we have to become as well, as United fans, as EPL fans, and as EPL players as well, and United players as well. For Chelsea, their attack needs to change, I feel, because their attack is pretty garbage right now. Havertz and Mount, they have been keeping clean sheets for the longest, and I don't know how long will that continue. They need a proper striker. But again, if you have world class defense and you show defensive errors like what Koulibaly and those are great defenders, but they still show signs of leak. That should not happen. Complacency should not be a factor for top teams. Otherwise, they'll get steamrolled, at least in the Premier League. And for all the top teams, the ego factor needs to go. The complacency needs to go. Dwelling on the past needs to go. And we should take example from teams like Liverpool, who are, I think, one exception in the league, where, of course, they have a great past, but they don't dwell on it because they've maintained their standard through in and throughout, even with bad phases from with the Benitez era. It started to decline with Benitez as well, but they still kept the top four pretty. They kept it pretty decently, right? They were still a force to reckon with, and now they are again, contenders. They have always been a contender for the last 4 or 5 years. So to win the league, of course, and then they have won the league, they won the Champions League. They've done it all in the recent past. It's important to not dwell on it, but work on it. That is what City is doing, and they've been really successful because they have nothing to dwell on to. They have nothing to hold on to, right? They've just started doing it. Just 10 years. It's as recent as like yesterday. So they need to start doing it, and they are doing it. And every other team who have history of 20, 30, 40 years ago, they have to step up, and they cannot just, we have won a league at this point of time. We won Champions League here. We've got the three-peat. We've got this and that, including United fans. That has to stop. That has to stop, and we have to work towards the next game. Once Ronaldo said the best goal that his best goal is always his next one. And that is the mentality we need from everyone in United, everyone in every other teams, if they have to, outperform the other, at least in the Premier League. The best game will always be the next game that they play. And this will be my final words from this video. I hope teams bounce back. EPL becomes, the team that a league that no one can even touch for the next 100 years. And we keep outperforming everyone else, and United becomes the best in the league pretty soon, hopefully in the Ten Hag era. So if you have been here throughout this video, please consider liking, maybe subscribing, and drop a comment for the algorithm. Yeah, if you do that, I think maybe I'll come up with better videos. So thank you guys. This is me signing off.